Yes, guys, welcome back to another video from the channel. 1 second, there we are. And today, this afternoon, literally, right as soon as I upload my last vlog, we get a Joao Pedro to Chelsea. Here we go. The fee is set to be in excess of 50 million. We had Ben Jacobs coming out with 50 plus 5 million on add-ons. We have Patty come out with 50 plus 10. I want to believe a Chelsea-based source who literally only talk about Chelsea. So 50 million plus 10 million on add-ons. Now, this is a video where I go through my thoughts on the player, how he fit in the system. Because I like Joao Pedro, okay? I'm a big admirer of the guy. He's had 19 GA this season for Brighton, who actually does create a lot of chances. 1 second. He has apparently got 20% of Brighton's goal contributions, and overall he can play up front, he can play in the 10, he can play off the left, he could probably even do a shift on the right. He's a very versatile forward. Maresca has been trying out a 3-4-2-1 on the ball with Reece James tucking in the back three, Pedro Neto on the right wing back position or right mid. We had Cucurella at left wing back / left mid. We had the 2 10s, which was Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer. You also have your pivot of Caicedo and Lavia. You have your one striker of Liam Delap. Now, Joao Pedro suits this system so well because he could play in the left-hand space, the right-hand space. He can play up front. He can play off the right or the left. He's a very versatile player. Now, why do I rate him so highly? Well, first of all, he's got good footwork. And any player with good footwork and ball control, I rate highly. Now Tigsy released a comp, which I also actually sent on my X page. CFC Lukey, EEYY. So if you want to check that out, check out my X, then for free. I'll also leave a link down below. And I'll actually remember this time. Joao Pedro has an eye for goal. He can spot really good passing options going forward. He's in the top percentile for progressive passing, which is passes going forward, not backwards. He is also up there with some of the best ball carrying in the Premier League. Again, in the top percentile. And him as a player just screams Maresca system. Fabian Hertzler as a coach has moulded him into a player who suits any system with a double 10 or a system with a 9 who likes to drop deep, who likes to overload the midfield, and that is Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro can also make runs in behind the defence. Even as a 10, he can make runs. The runs he makes, the way he uses his body, superb. So he just screams Maresca to me. Now, where do I think he'll play? How do I think he'll fit in the system? Now, obviously, we use multiple systems in the same system. We go for a 3-4-2-1. We go with a 4-2-2. We could go with a more of a 4-4-2, which I think we've done once with Cole Palmer, Cole Palmer being that second striker. We've seen that once. We've seen traditional fullbacks bombing up and down with the wingers being more tucked in. We've seen a lot of stuff by Maresca, and if we are going to go with this 4-2-2 or this 3-4-2-1, then Joao Pedro, what an amazing bit of business this is. Now, where do I think he'll fit into this 3-4-2-1? Well, in the left-hand space, in the left 10, Cole Palmer will occupy the right-hand space, and the midfield pivot, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, or Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Moises Caicedo, Andre Santos. We will not see a midfield pivot of Moises Caicedo and Asugo though, because same type of player. Unless if we're going really dirty with the defensive block. But I do think Joao Pedro, as much as I've been seeing a lot of unconfident Chelsea fans on this piece of business, I think he'll ball for us. Now, I'm not going to be able to throw statistics up on screen, but he has scored quite a few penalties. But again, we kind of have Cole Palmer, who can score penalties. So, I'm not going to say, fuck Joao Pedro, he scores a few penalties. It's not easy to score pens as well. You actually have to earn penalties. And Joao Pedro's earned a lot of penalties off of his own movement. Defenders being forced into a penalty rewarding challenge. And going back to the way he uses his body, he has a physical body structure as well. He's also quite fast. He doesn't sky as many chances. He slots them home, or the goalkeeper makes a nice save. He's 23 years old, he's Brazilian, and he's got really good potential. He's a better fit than Nkunku, than a Joao Felix. He's Premier League proven. He's played over 100 games over 60 games for Brighton in the Premier League, over 100 games in all competitions. He's experienced. I'm pretty sure I scored against us as well. In that 4-2, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken though, but he's definitely scored against us. And him as a player, okay, I'm going to say this now, he'll blow up at Chelsea. And I'm a big admirer of Joao Pedro. I watch a lot of Brighton. And I'll tell you something. As much as you can say, well, he's a Brighton player. Moises Caicedo, Cucurella, Rob Sanchez. Only one has been a bit of a flop. The other two? I think Joao Pedro will be one of the few who absolutely ball out as a Brighton signing. Who else do I think we should get from Brighton? Because I know someone's probably going to ask me on Twitter or whatever. Well, believe it or not, no one. I only rate Joao Pedro highly. The rest I like, I just don't rate them as highly. But Bert Bruggen, you could argue we needed a new goalkeeper. But Mike Maignan is apparently still in the picture for Chelsea. Whether that be in the summer, whether that be on a free contract in the January transfer window for next season. We need a centre-back. Well, there's Igor. There's Van der Heck. So those are the two. Igor has left, or is leaving, I think, for Lille? One of them two. So, there's not really any centre-backs we can get. As we move up the pitch, we don't really need anyone else. Striker-wise, Danny Welbeck, too old. Evan Ferguson, too washed. So when you're looking at strikers at Brighton, there's really no one else. Joao Pedro isn't a proper striker, but he can do a better job, 100%, than Nkunku, than Joao Felix. He is definitely a striker mould for a versatile player who mainly plays behind the striker, mainly plays off the left, but can also play up front. He had a lot of experience as a 9. He has consistent double-digit goal-scoring seasons in the Premier League. This season and last season, he scored 10+ goals, which is really good to see. The amount of assists he gets, perfect. I rate players who assist, who has smart vision, who has an eye for a pass, who can do it on their own. That's Joao Pedro. And yes, he can get a bit infuriating, but that's with any player. Like Nicholas Jackson. But I'd argue that Joao Pedro can control himself better. So I do think this is such a Chelsea-esque signing. We're probably going to have Dean come out tomorrow absolutely saying it, but I'm defending my bloody parts. If this guy flops, I'm defending him mentally because he'll do well. I defended Enzo Fernandez from the very first day I probably watched Chelsea again, which I didn't even watch the whole of 22-23 because we were horrendous. I started watching again 23-24. Enzo Fernandez, I've always believed in the guy. I love him. I'll do the same for Joao Pedro. So, you may see a bunch of negative Chelsea fans on the next go, he's so sick, sell him. Maybe we shouldn't say that, because Enzo Fernandez has turned out quite well. Moises Caicedo has turned out quite well. Cole Palmer was that one signing where it looked like dog shit, but he's turned out to be such a good acquisition. And I feel like Joao Pedro will be better. Will be so good for us. And I rate him higher than Cole Palmer right now. I actually do. I think there's a good possibility that Joao Pedro displaces Palmer in the starting 11. And I'm not joking when I say that. There's a good chance that happens. But yes, guys, that is my roundup on what I think of Joao Pedro. And do I think he'll do well? Yes. Do I think he'll get double digits? Yes. I think 12 goals, 9 assists will be his total end goal, which will be 21 GA. And I'm probably going to say all competitions when I say that, but that'll still be good. As he won't be a starter. Like, he'll play a lot, but he won't be starting every game like Palmer. So, that's basically my roundup on Joao Pedro. I hope you guys did enjoy. Obviously, Joao Pedro is a player who I watched a lot of, so I was actually able to give you this sort of video, which I'm going to do more as I watch players who you might not really watch. If we do get Kudus, you best believe there's probably going to be a video. Because, yes, I barely watch West Ham, but I studied Kudus since his Ajax days. I watched a lot of football. So, for example, if we sign someone from the A-League, there'll be a video on that player. Not saying that we will, but I watch a lot of A-League. I watch a lot of the J-League. I watch a lot of leagues. So I'll be able to give you some good content. So yes, guys, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and peace!